Hi guys. Sorry for the Santa hat. I got this like weird COVID-19 just hair mess going on, so I just thought I'd throw a Santa hat on. Plus today's launch day, so Christmas came early apparently. So last time I read this is long overdue, but last time I read the introduction chapter to my book, Outer Solar System Moons: Your Personal 3D Journey. You can get a free digital copy during the COVID-19 crisis, and all printed copies at my Etsy store. Today I'm going to be reading the Jupiter chapter. So without further ado, let's get started. Jupiter. The largest planet in our solar system is Jupiter. Because of its massive size, about 300 times more massive than Earth, it also has the second greatest number of moons at 79 known natural satellites. The most famous of these are its four largest moons: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. These four are often referred to collectively as the Galilean moons, in honor of the discoverer of these tiny worlds, Galileo Galilei. Galileo discovered these four moons in 1610 and used this discovery to refute the long-standing theory that everything orbited the Earth, the geocentric model of the solar system, and instead support the theory that everything in the solar system orbits the sun, the heliocentric model. Galileo was later forced to retract that finding, even though we know today that he was right. These moons are tidally locked with Jupiter, meaning they always have the same face towards its parent planet. The orbital periods of the three inner moons, Io, Europa, and Ganymede, display what's known as orbital resonances, meaning their orbits are synced to each other. Io, Europa, and Ganymede have respective orbits of 1.8 days, 3.6 days, and 7.2 days, for a resonance of 1, 2, and 4. Io, the volcano world. Actually, I don't say volcano world, I just say Io. It's just Io. With over 400 active volcanoes, Io is the most volcanically active body in the entire solar system. Io and its volcanic activity were first imaged by the Voyager 1 spacecraft on its tour of the outer planets. Analysis of Voyager images led scientists to believe that the lava flows on Io were composed mostly of various forms of molten elemental sulfur. This was strong evidence that Io's interior experienced what's known as tidal heating, caused by the orbital resonances of Europa and Ganymede. This tidal heating causes Io's crust, or lithosphere, to constantly flex as it compresses and expands throughout its orbit, leading to friction within the mantle and ultimately greater heating of the interior. These tidal forces generate a tremendous amount of heat within Io, keeping much of its surface crust in liquid form, seeking any available escape route to the surface to relieve the pressure. The volcanic material continually covers the surface and fills in any pre-existing features. As a result, Io is almost entirely devoid of impact craters. Actually, I just want to point out that each of these moons has some orbital and physical characteristics that everyone here might find interesting. We got orbital period, semi-major axis, eccentricity, surface gravity, mean radius, and mean surface temperature. But I'm going to save those for those of you who want to buy the printed copy. Io volcanism. There are presently three identified types of eruptions on Io's surface: intrapatera, flow-dominated, and explosion-dominated. Intrapatera eruptions occur within volcanic depressions known as patera, which generally have flat floors bounded by steep walls. Flow-dominated eruptions are similar to those seen at Kilauea in Hawaii, and explosion-dominated eruptions are the most pronounced of Io's volcanic styles and are characterized by their short duration, lasting only weeks or months, rapid onset, large volumetric flow rates, and high thermal emission. Interesting fact: Io was predicted to have volcanism due to tidal heating by Stanton J. Peale just prior to the Voyager 1 flyby in 1979. Europa, the ocean world. I actually don't call it ocean world. I probably should have. It's just Europa. Europa is the second most inner moon of the Galilean satellites. From images, we know its surface is made of water ice. It has even fewer craters than Io does, which implies its surface is very young. We estimate the surface is currently between 40 and 90 million years old. The tidal heating previously discussed as the cause for Io's volcanic activity is also responsible for Europa's ocean as a result of the tidal heating that generates heat in the ice crust and probably supplies heat to the ocean floor. This ocean is believed to contain over 3 times as much salty water as the Earth. Planetary scientists think Europa may be habitable because of the presence of water, the presence of salt, and the generation of heat. On Earth, life has been found to exist around hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor. Life forms of this type are known as extremophiles, which are organisms that thrive in physically or geochemically extreme conditions that are detrimental to most life on the Earth. These types of vents might exist on the ocean floor. These types of vents might exist on the floor of Europa's ocean as well. And I got some cool orbital and physical characteristics for those of you, interested in that. Yeah. Europa geology. Europa's most striking feature are bands that crisscross its surface known as lineae. The crust itself has moved on either side of these cracks, with larger bands reaching more than 20 kilometers, 12 miles across, often with dark outer edges and a central band of lighter material. Another prominent geologic feature on Europa is known as chaos terrain, with the biggest features believed to be broken parts of the surface that sit above large pockets of liquid water that are found deep in the ice shell. This chaos takes on various forms or morphologies. Some look like the ice was broken apart and rotated in places such as Connemara chaos, while other chaos features give a more sandpaper-like appearance, such as Murius chaos, also called the mitten. Europa geology, Connemara chaos. Connemara chaos is a region of chaotic terrain on Jupiter's moon Europa. Connemara chaos is a landscape produced by the disruption of Europa's icy crust. This region consists of rafts of ice that have moved around and rotated. Surrounding these plates is a lower matrix of jumbled ice blocks, which may have been formed as water, slush, or warm ice that rose up from below the surface. This region is cited as evidence for a liquid ocean below Europa's icy surface. Interesting fact. Scientists have successfully reconstructed what Connemara looked like before the rafts of ice moved around and rotated. Europa geology, Murius chaos. Murius chaos, also known as the mitten, is a region of elevated chaos-like terrain in the leading hemisphere of Europa. Galileo spacecraft observations revealed several characteristics which suggested that Murius is distinct from typical chaos terrain, e.g. Connemara, and pointed to a different formational process. Scientists speculated that Murius was formed by a large body of water within Europa's icy crust compared to smaller, isolated, and more clustered bodies of water that might have formed other chaos terrain, e.g. Connemara. Interesting fact. Guess where Murius got its nickname? You're gonna have to see the image. Ganymede. Ganymede is the third satellite of the Galilean moons and the largest and most massive moon in the entire solar system. It is composed of approximately equal amounts of silicate rock and water ice. Unlike Io and Europa, Ganymede has much less internal activity due to a decreased amount of tidal heating. This means the surface isn't as active, and resurfacing is much slower than on Io or Europa, which results in many more visible impact craters on its surface. Despite this decrease in activity, the Galileo mission in the 1990s confirmed the moon has a subsurface ocean similar to that of Europa. Ganymede is the target of the European Space Agency's Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer, or JUICE mission, slated for launch in the 2020s. You get some cool orbital characteristics on Ganymede too. Callisto. The last and most distant from Jupiter of the Galilean moons is Callisto. It is the largest undifferentiated object in the solar system, meaning its interior is not separated into distinct layers such as core, mantle, and crust. Callisto is composed equal parts rock and ice, and as a result is the least dense of the 4 Galilean moons. The surface of Callisto is the oldest and most heavily cratered in the solar system. Callisto does not feel the effects of tidal heating experienced on the other 3 Galilean moons, so its surface has not been resurfaced for possibly billions of years. Once again, I got some cool orbital and physical characteristics. Callisto geology, Valhalla crater. Valhalla, Valhalla is the largest multi-ring impact crater in the solar system. It consists of a bright central region 360 kilometers across, an inner ridge and trough zone, and striking concentric rings extending up to about 1900 kilometers from the center. The Valhalla multi-ring structure probably resulted from a giant impact, which punctured the outer ridged lithosphere of the moon and entered the underlying layer consisting of a much softer material. The formation of a ring structure is caused by the concentric failure of the brittle outer shell or lithosphere following the impact. After the soft material underlying the lithosphere flows towards the center to fill the cavity excavated by the impact. Estimates of Valhalla's age range from 2 to 4 billion years. Interesting fact. A number of features on Callisto have names originating from Norse mythology, e.g. Valhalla, Asgard, Utgard, and Adelinda. I got a really cool image for the Valhalla crater. It's really cool. Callisto geology, Doe crater. Literally pronounced Doe. Doe crater is an impact crater on Callisto that lies within the multi-ring structure known as Asgard. This crater is different from other impact craters in that it does not feature the usual bowl-shaped depression, but instead displays a dome-like structure in the middle where the depression should be. This is a sign of cryovolcanism in that there was penetration into the slushy zone beneath the surface of the Asgard impact. Interesting fact, the author of this book, me, created a makeshift geologic map of Doe for his planetary volcanology class when pursuing his master's. I got a really cool picture of Doe. It's like really cool. Oh, Saturn. Well, that's it for this week. That was the Jupiter Chapter Outer Solar System Moons, your personal 3D journey. Get a free digital copy at the link provided. Printing copies, I think for $22.50, can be purchased on my Etsy store. Comes with 3D glasses, a personalized inscription, space magnet. That's pretty much it. Today's launch day, so we're about to make history. So, yeah, that's it. All right, bye.